Had I not joined a multi-level marketing company, which freed me from corporate America, what I learned in that experience is what prompted me specifically to jump out on my own, quit my job as a civil engineer, and pursue my passion, eventually escape from America, and become a full-time nomadpreneur and live out on a tropical island in the Pacific. A while back, when I was thinking about my response to Brolicon's statement, it occurred to me that I wanted to make a mention of some of the things that have affected and influenced my belief system. So I thought about being vegan. I thought about joining a network marketing company, and that's MLM, multi-level marketing or network marketing. And I also thought about a course that I took, an experiential training course that I took years ago called Lifespring. And so I looked it up on the internet to make sure I got some of the details correct, because I think I recommended the Landmark Forum to someone as well, because at the time Lifespring was not available. So anyway, I looked this up and I realized that, a lot of the literature out there about that course is a bit negative. They were likening it to a cult, and then it just clicked in my mind that a lot of what I believe, a lot of what has affected my belief system, seems to have a somewhat disparaging reputation in popular culture. So I put together a little list, as I put this list together, I realized, sure enough, a lot of the things that I believe and practice and that have affected me positively, if you look it up on the internet or just poll the average person, they have a negative impression of it. That includes being vegan. A comedian can always get a good laugh if he's dating a vegetarian and talks about that in his monologue or dialogue. There's veganism, there's fasting, Lifespring, as I mentioned, multi-level marketing, Max Gerson, MMS, hydrogen peroxide therapy, a lot of the things, coffee enemas, a lot of the things that I do that have helped me, that have freed me from a particular mindset or illness. When you look them up, they have a slightly disparaging reputation. In fact, I've even taken Scientology courses, and a lot of us out there know the negative reputation that Scientology has, and I'm not endorsing it, but they're courses that I've taken, and I'll talk a little bit about that later on. But anyway, so the question becomes, why do certain philosophies, certain practices, certain belief systems, why are they disparaged? I'd like to know your comments. Of course, I have my own views, and some of it is quite obvious as to why certain belief systems are ridiculed in popular culture. But I'd like to know your opinion as well. So let me share something though. As a result of my belief in being vegan, not eating any animal products, no chicken, no milk, no dairy, no eggs, no meat, no sodas, no coffee, my life has improved, my health life has improved, vitality, virility, I need less sleep, my eyesight is got better. So I know that for me, the reality of being vegetarian, being vegan is more in line, more in alignment with the truth of my health and well-being. Had I not adopted that belief system, one can only speculate where I would be right now, if you compare that to some of my friends and family who are not on that path. And of course, it's an individual decision. Everyone's free to make their own, but you can't avoid the consequences. Had I not joined a multi-level marketing company, which freed me from corporate America, what I learned in that experience is what prompted me specifically to jump out on my own, quit my job as a civil engineer, and pursue my passion, eventually escape from America and become a full-time nomadpreneur and live out on a tropical island in the Pacific. Had I not been open to adopting that belief system, I, like a lot of my friends and co-workers, would have stayed as a civil engineer, working a job that I hated, and not experienced the freedom to travel and decide my own daily life on a day-to-day basis. So what I learned in that experience, Lifespring, the Landmark Forum, had to do with personal accountability and the resolve, the decision to take accountability and be responsible for the outcomes in my life. And as a result, that's helped me tremendously in everything that I've done since, including taking control of my health, not blaming others, not blaming the system, not blaming society, being able to maintain the motivation to be a full-time passionpreneur. Even my trip to China, one of the things, if you talk to people about their impressions of Asia, their impressions of China in particular, a lot of people have some negative perceptions. Now, when I went there, and again, I think it's important to separate China, the government, just like in any country, separate the government and their decisions from the people who actually live there. But a lot of people conflate the two, and they harbor resentment towards the people of a country based on what the government is doing. So my experience there, as you'll see on my blog, JamaicanInChina.com, it was the best experience I've had. I spent 6 months in China, Singapore, Laos, traveling all through China, different cities. So my point is that if you are not open to at least experimenting with a different belief system, you might find yourself overly influenced and trapped by what other people believe to be true, and what might be true for them, but is not necessarily true for you. So I guess that's my point. My point is that, don't just willingly accept what other people believe is the truth about, your career, your health, what constitutes health. If I maintain the belief that health came from drugs and pharmaceuticals, I would be in a different state than I am now, different condition than I am now. So I guess my point is simply to keep your mind open and realize that just because you're reading something, in popular websites or on Wikipedia about, MMS or hydrogen peroxide or colloidal silver or coffee enemas, doesn't mean that it's true. Quite simply, there could be many reasons, many agendas at play as to why the current notion is somewhat disparaging. But I have had the courage and the discipline to jump out on my own and experiment with some of these, and I've been able to change my life for the better in terms of my freedom, in terms of my health. And so I encourage you to keep an open mind and not allow your belief system to be molded and shaped by others. And that includes me. There's just because it worked for me doesn't mean it'll work for you. But I'm proof that it can work. And one of the things that I'm here to do is to show an alternative that you might not see in the mainstream conventional wisdom. So on that note, let me know what you think about adopting belief systems. Let me know what you think about fasting, veganism, Lifespring, MLM, Scientology, Max Gerson, all the different things that I advocate in A Clean Cell Never Dies and some of my other books. And we'll continue the conversation.